Hello everyone, and welcome to the Navin Times Talk from the Heart. We all want to live a full and fulfilled life, and for that we require to have good physical, mental and emotional health. With the right diet, ample exercise, we can manage that physical aspect of our life. But when it comes to the mental, the emotional part of it, there is a little bit of a problem. Why is that so? Because our emotions are very volatile and at times create a lot of chaos. To talk to us about emotions, feelings, and how to maintain good mental and emotional health, we have with us mentor, healer, and life coach, Meenal Madhukar. Hello, Meenal, and welcome to our show.
Hi Maria, thank you so much for having me over.
It is always a pleasure to see such a lovely, beautiful face and always smiling. Lovely. Okay, Meenal, to start with, from the little that I have read about you, you have a bachelor's in financial management and you have 25 years of service in the financial sector, and not to forget the 2 MBAs that you have done.
Guilty.
From all that, you have taken the path of being healer, mentor and life coach. How did this happen? And what exactly does a life coach do?
So yes, absolutely, you're right. I'm guilty of all that you accuse me of. 2 MBAs, 25, 27 years in investment banking. And I used to be this really analytical person, absolutely no interest in even looking at any emotions, because as you realize, in investment banking, it's a constantly stressful job, and emotions and high anger points and low points are all a part of the game. And so that used to happen to me every single day. But one day, as I was sitting at my desk and I was looking at some balance sheets and some project, and I suddenly noticed, I looked down and I noticed that I'd written something. And I actually didn't understand what it meant, because the lines that had been written down were, your life purpose is to heal yourself and to heal others. Now, it's not like I was looking for a life purpose. I already thought I was in it. I thought investment banking was it. This was my life, done well, studied so much and all of that. I have a name in the financial services. People know me. We are done with life purpose. I didn't even know what healing meant. Healing, according to me, was a crossing, because for everything else, I used to go to the doctor. But every time, somebody would ask me, I have a pain here or there, my recommendation was take a crocin and then go to the doctor. That's all I knew about healing. And yet this line, it really called out to me. Who's written this? What am I writing? How come this happened? And yet there was this line, my life purpose is to heal myself and to heal others. And so as I looked at that line, I kind of let it go, but it happened again the next day. Something else started to pop up. My life was beautiful already, but there were many parts of the life, some relationships which were not working out properly. There is always a judgment when the relationships are not working, right? I mean, you always think that the other person needs to understand better. And so it was happening with a few of my, secondary relationships, that people need to understand better. They don't understand. And I would be sitting with those judgments. And yet when the hand started to write, really, it was the hand and not me. The hand started to write, there were answers that were coming for these relationships. And this started to intrigue me, because these were not answers that I would have written consciously. These were answers that were coming to me from a more beautiful frequency of love. I had not ever thought about relationships in that way. I'd never thought about emotions in that way. And now I was receiving answers. And that's how your question being, how did your journey start? It started on its own. I started receiving these answers, and it was a fun move because one day, about 7 or 8 months into writing these answers, suddenly one answer came saying, "This is your path, and now you leave your job." I was making a lot of money and all of that. And I, mostly when I talk to people, they said, "Are you crazy? You don't even know, who's
What you're
writing
going
this
to do.
happening.
Yes.
What is happening to you? Not even what you're going to do. You don't even know where these answers are coming from, what's driving these answers, and you are actually thinking of listening to this and quitting a job that's paying you, 80 lakhs crore at that point in time. And this was about 10 years ago. You were planning to quit a job, but something was pushing me. I didn't know it then. Of course, that was 7 years ago, so I know it now as to what was happening. Now I have many different answers, but at that point in time, still the pull was so strong that I actually quit my job in about 3 or 4 days. I put in my resignation, and then this became my life. This became my life to just simply sit and start receiving the answers. And these answers, opened up so many more layers of who we are, of how we operate. And then it was just me. I didn't even think I could live that life. For a year after quitting my investment banking, and in my investment banking, it was one meeting, another meeting, one meeting, another meeting. And I was constantly being taken by my team from, now we've got to meet this, now this is the status. And we were just constantly focused on the outside. For 1 year after this happened to me, I literally just sat at home with my notebook, and I just simply would receive answers. And that's all that I did. And that's how this major shift in my life happened.
Now, you said when you got the first message that your path is to heal yourself and others, and you said after that you started getting a lot of answers. Do you remember one of them? Can you share with us, like, what was
Yes,
that
sure.
answer?
Absolutely. So, as a matter of fact, one of the relationships that was not working in my life was with me and my brother. And it was this, that I was constantly like, why doesn't he do this? I've been asking him. I'm older to him by 7 or 8 years. So it was always this, that I know what is right, and you're not listening to me. And so one day I was sitting, and the answer that came to me was, your job is not to do anything else but simply to love him. And I was like, how can, this is wrong, that is wrong. And the answer came, yes, but that's not your job. Your job is to love him. Now, in my conscious mind and the way I thought, I was leading a team of people at the investment banking. People looked up at me. They kind of, listened to my advice, not just people who were working for me, but everybody around was listening to me. And then suddenly this answer comes saying, it's not your job to make other people listen to you. It's your job to simply come from love. And now do that. And it was a journey, because what stops you from loving somebody outside as is, just as they are, with no expectation? What stops you is your judgments. To be able to move past your judgments, that's the journey. And so when these answers came, they were really beautiful, and I knew that the answers weren't coming from me. The answers were not, they were coming from some other part of me, or some, I didn't understand at that point in time energies. I didn't understand healing. And really, so at that point in time, it just felt that it was a lot of guided answers, and they would take me to a place of more peace. And so I decided to follow follow that line, even though it meant leaving everything that I loved doing. I absolutely loved my job. I loved everything about my life even then, and it meant that I would have to leave all of that. But today, when I sit back, and it's been 7 years, and there's not a single day, a single moment that goes by when I'm not in gratitude for this beautiful journey that started 7 years ago.
But Meenal, it must have been, like you said, from 80 lakhs to a crore a year. And then suddenly you get this message.
Yes.
Don't do anything, just sit.
Yes.
And that must have been a change like no other.
You're absolutely
So from a very financially strong point, professionally strong point, you come to just sitting and writing messages. How
Yes.
did this make you feel? What was going on through your mind?
So it's beautiful, because when you talk about how did it make you feel, I'd like to kind of, talk about life even generally, and now I can even, now, because I understand everything as being energy, everything. So I'm actually, even to answer that question of yours, how did you feel? It's very important to understand what energy did I come from already. During my life, I already saw many ups and downs. So I lost my father, who was my biggest support in my life. I lost him when I was 26 years old. He was only 52. So at that point in time, suddenly, when he went away, I really felt sad. I felt very, very shaken, because this was not the age for anyone to go. But I never felt too much helplessness. I was always this person who was very fearless. Now today, as I understand energies, I understand that I already came from a place of fearlessness. That was already my energy. When I look at most people around, most of the people come from fear. And that's why anytime outside anything happens, they feel fear. So, for example, when Corona starts, what is it that first happens to you? You feel fear. Oh my God, I feel fear for myself, for my loved ones. I hope this doesn't happen. I hope that doesn't happen. What is that feeling, that emotion underneath? It is fear. But I always came from a large part fearlessness. So when you ask me, what did I feel about quitting my job, about letting go of, that salary? I actually felt fearless. I just always knew. And now I understand what was that energy. I have always been in this particular life. I have been coming from energies of abundance. So I always have felt that somehow I will be taken care of. That is the energy of abundance. So even when it came to quitting a job, not knowing what will happen, but when I received these answers, they were just so beautiful. There was something in my heart which said, follow this. And this is, it's been a path, but something happened to me a long time ago when I was listening to the mind and making very logical decisions, but I should have listened to the heart at that point in time, and I didn't. And from that point onwards, whenever I have been in a flux, not knowing which side to go, every single day I listened to the mind, because that's the investment banker. But when it came to decisions of the heart, of decisions of my life, personal decisions, I went with the heart. And the heart said, go here. And I followed the heart. And so that's how the journey began. I felt fearless. The energy of abundance was with me. And that's why I felt fearless. I didn't understand it. But the fear, what will happen? Am I going to be still in a secure future? How will people even acknowledge my presence anymore? You're used to being a senior partner, a CXO level executive in a financial services firm, and you go out and you're talking at world conferences and all of that, and suddenly for a year you're sitting at home doing
Writing
nothing,
messages.
writing in a journal. You don't even know what the hell is coming through. And yet I felt fearless. And so to understand, when we talk further, I'll explain to you what I do. But it's important to remember right now that yes, I already came from the energies of abundance and from the energy of fearlessness.
Okay, you spoke about writing in your journal. I have heard, I have read, in fact, so much about journaling. You know how journaling allows you to release a lot of pent up emotions and energy. My What I would also like to say to you is there are a lot of us who write. I used to at some time, but not anymore. It
Yes.
takes up a lot of energy and a lot of time. So writing is a release, is a way to vent out. That
Yes.
is what I would like to say to your journaling part. Now in school, and of course for some in college, we have learned energy is everything. Everyone,
Absolutely.
speaks about energy, energy, energy. But to put it into simple words, like, is energy what we feel? Is the feeling energy? And how can we use energy to our advantage? So my question again is,
I
how would
understand.
you explain it in simple terms, Meenal?
It's all that I do day in and day out, because you're so right. And then again, I'd also like to comment on the journaling, because when we journal mostly, we are simply venting, and it's a great release. I understand that. But what was happening to me was, when I would ask a question, the answer would not be what I was thinking. I was not venting, but there were answers coming to me, and that's what I was journaling. And so it's even one step further. It's not that I simply just sit and write, okay, I have this relationship, and that already is a release. But can you imagine that as you are sitting and writing, and if all the problems that you are sitting with, if you were just beginning to write, and suddenly the answer itself popped up as to what you need to do to be in a better space, to be in a better space in the heart. Can you imagine how much more release there would be? And that's what I teach people. But now, firstly, to move to this question of yours, how to put it simply about what energy is. It's so beautiful, because I didn't, just like you, I had science in school, and I used to, there was this one line, oh, and Einstein proved that everything is energy. And then Tesla said that if you are looking for answers to every question in the universe, look towards energy and vibration. And you don't understand what it means. You study in science that water, when it falls from a height, it converts from some energy to a hydroelectric energy, something or the other. And yet you don't understand how to use it for yourself. That's water, it's doing something great. I got electricity. And yet, how to use this to change my own life. What we forget is that we are energy too. If Einstein said everything is energy, then everything. So this is energy. This is energy. My skin, that's energy. Me, I'm energy. Every thought of mine is energy. Every feeling of mine is also energy. So energy is everything. Okay, then, great piece of information. Now what to do with it? So here's
Exactly
the
my question to you.
so the most beautiful part of this being, again, we pick up another property of energy. Energy can neither be created
Not
nor be
destroyed.
destroyed. Energy can be transformed. That's the only piece. And that's why water transforms from some kind of energy to power energy. And then suddenly, you have dams, and you are using that energy in a completely different format, because you've transformed the energy. So energy cannot be created nor destroyed but transformed. When you think of your thoughts as energy, now I want you to think of yourself not as this body, not even as thought, not even as emotion, but something much larger. Because that's who we are. We are a much larger force of energy, but we get stuck too much in the body form. And so look at you now as energy. When you have energy, and as I mentioned just a few minutes ago, you have energy of fear, right? Now, you have energy of fear, what will happen? You will simply keep transforming more of your other energies into fear. When we are sitting in the energy of fear, it's not like we are creating fear. We have to be transforming something else. So, what would we be transforming? In our energy field, because I'm energy and so are you. So, now let's talk about an energy field that we have. But in my energy field, there's everything. There is fear, there is also fearlessness, there is worry, there is also joy. All of these are just energy frequencies. Each emotion that we feel, we call it an emotion, but now think of it as energy. Then what is it simply? It's a frequency. Like how we have frequencies on a television, one frequency will play one channel, you change the frequency, another channel plays. And so now think of yourself as the idiot box. You are receiving, you also hold, you are tuning, you have been tuned into many separate channels. Whatever channels you are tuned into, you can pick up the remote and change the channel. Now you are a television box that receives all of these energies, frequencies. So what are these frequencies? But the minute you sit in the worry frequency, what do? You're not sitting in joy. You've changed your channel, right? So I teach a very, very simple process as to how to pick up the remote and change your channel. That's as simple a process as is needed to transform your energy. You're sitting in the energy of fearlessness. You recognize, oh, I'm watching a fear channel. And then you move towards another channel. When we grow fear, we have to be transforming it from joy, for sure. It can't be that joy is this high and fear is that high. When we are moving more and more into fear, definitely joy is becoming less and less. And that's the transformation process. And now we do the opposite. And so we look at our fear. What's very important is this looking part. We simply receive a news from outside. Oh, there is this virus called corona, and now it's next door. First thing we do, we will tune ourselves into fear frequency. Oh my God, now it's next door. I hope, it doesn't happen to my old mother. It doesn't happen to me. My family needs to be safe. I need to stop my children from going out. All of that stuff. What is the energy behind this fear? What is it that I'm growing? Even as I take precautions, what is it that I'm growing more and more? I'm growing fear. And so I teach people, observe your frequency. So again, think energy. In your energy field, there is already a lot of worry and fear that's sitting there, right? And that's why even in your mind, when you want to think positive, what happens? You think positive, but this big, large energy field of yours keeps sending more fear frequency your way, right? So every time you, in your conscious mind, want to think positive, but in the subconscious mind, at the back end of your system, sits all of this worry. So what do we need to do? We need to change the back end as well, right? We need to start taking out some of this fear and making a faster process. Now here, I will remind you, I pointed out to you that even when I was younger, I came from a lot of energy of fearlessness, of abundance. What does abundance mean? That at all, at all times, within, this knowing is with you that you are taken care of. It doesn't have to be about the money in the bank account. It doesn't even have to be, about this relationship or that relation. Who will take care of me? You simply have this knowing, I'm taken care of. And I came from this knowing. Now, when I look back at my life, there was a time when I only had $12 in my bank account. And I was in a foreign country, I didn't have a job. And yet, I was sitting very peacefully for some reason. I didn't know anything about energies at that point, but I was very, very peaceful, saying, no, the universe is going to find some way out for me. And I know that it will. What happened? That way came forward. And today, when I look back at that instance, I was 30 years old. And when I look back at that instance, it tells me my energy was already of abundance. So now we come to your energy, which is sitting with some worries and some fear. And what do I tell you as the second process? Take energy from me. Take energy from this energy field of mine. When I say take energy from me, I don't mean take energy from this body, Meenal. This body, Meenal, is also taking energy from this large energy field. And that right now is open to everyone. Think energy, think television. If I am transmitting the energies of abundance, you just only have to be aware, and your television set will start to receive the same exact frequency. And so, when I sit in abundance all the time, what will you start to do as well? You will actually get more thoughts of abundance. You will get more thoughts of fearlessness. You will get more thoughts of love. Why? Because now you are changing your energy field simply by tuning into mine. And so the first one is release, because you just need to look at what all you are sitting with and do some release. And the second piece is simply, I'm energy and you are energy too. In the body, you see two separate beings. That's like two different television sets. But can both the television sets receive from the same channel, any channel that they are tuned into? Absolutely. So you are right now receiving from a channel called fear. Let that go. Do the positivity process and specifically pick up the remote and change your channel to the Meenal frequency. And then if you are getting stuck, no, Meenal will suffer if I send her this frequency. Meenal is not this body. Meenal is simply telling you the frequency of abundance, the frequency of masti. There is so much laughter. There is so much party that happens all the time, because that's my back end. I'm constantly in a party, and it's not necessarily that there is a party outside, but in my heart, there's a constant dance and song happening. And so I recognize it's happening because my back end is abundance and joy and laughter and love.
Okay,
And so,
Meenal, may I ask a question at this
yes,
point?
of course,
Now,
of course.
you have said that have come from a background of abundance, that energy of abundance. So, why is it that you have this energy and many others do not? What is it that we have done or are doing that prevents us from coming from that field of energy?
Sure. So beautiful, because, as you ask, what have we done? Why don't we have it? You do. You do. You've put more focus, more of your awareness on fear. You've put more awareness on worry. And now that's what your energy field is. It's not like you don't have abundance in you, but it's in one corner of your energy field. And now we have to grow that corner.
So, how do we trigger it off to start working for us?
Absolutely. And that's exactly what. You start to grow that corner by taking energy from me. I have a very simple 13-minute audio meditation, because it's not about the words I say, it's about the energy that I'm vibrating at when when I recorded that audio, I'm normally vibrating at that energy. But when I receive, remember those answers in journal? So I receive, okay, today you create this audio or you create this video. I will sit that day because I recognize that all the energies today are aligned to make the most beautiful experience for whoever is going to get that vibration from my energy field. So I recorded a 13-minute audio. And when people come to me saying, how do I change my energy? I say, first, do the positivity process. And secondly, as many times in a day you wish to, simply keep that audio meditation on. You don't even have to listen to it, because who's listening? That little body, that's one very small part of the full energy that you are. But your energy is constantly receiving this vibration. And when you have to find answers, as Tesla said, you have to look at the vibration. So you, through the positivity process, you release your vibration of fear. Whatever you are sitting in, you make this conscious, aware attempt. Okay, what am I feeling? I'm feeling so worried for my job today. And so as you're feeling for your, worry, the tool can be anything. It could be a job, it could be a child, it could be something's health, it could be anything. But that's simply a trigger. It's a tool. It's not your, that's not where you pay attention. You, with this one line, what am I feeling? You pay attention to your emotion. As you pay attention to your emotion, you now know, oh, sitting in fear frequency. Oh, sitting in disappointment frequency. Sitting now in worry. And so you release that to the candle, and then simply even this one line. Because what happens is, as you first do the audio meditation a few times, it's a 13-minute audio, it's running in the background. You're doing your own thing, but your energy is receiving it.
It's absorbing it.
It's absorbing that vibration. And what is happening? That vibration contains abundance, dance, masti, anand, joy, bliss, contains all of this. And so what's happening? Remember you said, what can we do? It's already happening to your energy field. The abundance that's already in there, we are growing that. Now we are changing the front end through the positivity process. We are also changing the back end. So with these two, what will happen? You will find that automatically when something is happening outside that will take you to worry, instantly you will get this alternate thought. No, I should release this. Where is this alternate thought coming from? It's coming more from abundance, because abundance says, Arey, you are taken care of. And fear says, no, I got to take more care of myself. So with this thought, you will immediately, even right now, sitting, you will do the positivity process. Even that guidance that comes to you, that you need to do the positivity process, it's coming from the back end, which is now more and more active in the frequency of joy. So we grow that joy more.
Okay. Just let me get this straight, Meenal. Just to repeat and put it in a nutshell, what you're saying is every time we have a negative thought, a negative emotion, a negative feeling, we have to imagine a candle in front of us. Obviously, you want the candle to be lit because you need that heat, the warmth and the positive energy. And you're giving this candle...
No, it could be even on your phone. It could just be a picture.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Imaginary candle. I'm not talking about a physical candle. So we are talking about an imaginary candle. Like you said, you can't take a candle and go everywhere. People will think you're either bonkers or you're reincarnation of Florence Nightingale. So you can't do that. So in your mind, you imagine a candle, a lit candle in front of you. And basically what you're doing is you're giving that candle all your negative emotions, that negative feeling. After you do that, what you need to do is you need to change your frequency. Now, by changing your frequency, how do you change your frequency? You change your frequency by connecting or by tuning into how we do tuning for a radio. I want Vivid Bharati, or I want FM 108 or 109 or whatever it is. Sometimes you have to fine tune. And how do you do that? You fine tune to someone who has higher energy. And what is higher energy? Basically is positive energy. So Meenal, was I right in giving a synopsis of what you have just said?
Absolutely. And here is the thing, that when we look at anybody, it's so beautiful. And this thing comes to me to say, because when you are looking at positive energy, you'll find many people around who are in that positive energy. You look at, any guru, they've done so much of aware work on themselves, and they are radiating that positive energy. So somebody came to me and they said, can I tune into the energy of Sai Baba? And I said, absolutely. You can tune into the energy of Sai Baba. You can tune into any energy that gives you comfort. And then they said, oh, no. But Sai Baba didn't have any money. So if I tune into his energy, maybe, I will become spiritual, but I won't have any money. I want to have all the comforts. What did they do now? Even with the name of a Sai Baba, who is such a beautiful energy, they tuned into the energy of fear, right? Do you understand how beautiful this subtle play of energy is, that they are taking the name of Sai, but still they are resisting. So when I was guided to give people my name, I had a lot of judgment about why I need to give my name. There are so many examples all around. And then I was told again in my guidance, saying that when people look at you, all they see is how much abundance. So when I say I came from abundance, my life, my entire childhood was spent in lower middle class. But I came from the energy of abundance, okay? And that's how. But today when you look at me, what is happening around me, I'm manifesting because I have become so aware. I keep receiving guidance. Give this away, give that away, give all your jewelry away, give your house away. And I do that without even a thought. I live in a rented house. I have given away the house which we created with all our life savings. I've given it away. But why? Because I still come from the energy of abundance. More and more just keeps manifesting. I'm not even working anymore, but more manifest. So when people look at me, they can actually see what it means to be in the energy of abundance. And they say, would I like this life for me? And they're like, yeah, she lives an amazing life. So it gives them a physical anchor to actually tune into. When you get to know me and you see how much fun am I having through every part of my life, then you want that part of fun. And that's the only reason why I tell you, bhai, this is my energy. You take from the same. And so I also conduct a program. It's a 30-day program where this is the only requirement. Every single day, you have to tune into my energy. And transformations they're just mind-blowing. People come with all kinds of problems, such heartbreaks. People have had so many losses in their lives of loved ones and all of that. But when they come into this energy of abundance, it's such a beautiful transformation just in such a short period. But what is the only requirement from them? You have to tune into my energy every single day. And that meditation is actually already available. It's free. It's available for everybody on my website. So anybody can go and tune into it.
Okay. From the little bit that I have been speaking to you, Meenal, you come across as a very vibrant, vivacious, energetic person. Has it ever been that you have not been this vivacious, vibrant person? Have there been times, because you're human, there must be some times when you're feeling sad, that you're feeling low. There must be that sometime, right?
Yes.
It happens.
Every day.
And so then you start the same process of giving it to the candle.
Exactly, because you become so aware. And here, so the one thing that I want to even clarify, when I'm even giving away to the candle, as I mentioned, we are moving from one channel to another channel, right? It's a television set that we are, right? When by chance I put on my television and a horror channel is playing, am I going like, oh my God, why is this horror channel playing? I never want to watch the horror channel.
I changed the
You
channel.
you simply pick up your remote and you change the channel. You don't run away from that horror channel. So again, when we recognize it's just a frequency. Okay, so I tuned into sadness today. I hear of a friend, and this is, in Corona, it's been happening a lot, that I listen to a news. I've lost my, a favorite aunt to Corona. And so what do I feel? I feel sad. Every single day we experience emotions. We are not running away from emotions. What happens with this process of awareness? What am I feeling? What happens is I become aware of the frequency that I've tuned into. So losing my aunt would make me sad. So I experience the sadness, but I don't have to experience it for days and days. I experience it for a few minutes, and then, I give my love to her. And I'm thankful for even the sadness. But now, once I'm done experiencing that emotion, I know I can change. So then I do the same process. I simply release that emotion and I tune back into my frequency of abundance, into the frequency of joy. So it is something what I'm, again stressing on is that you don't need to run away from any energy. You now have the power, just these two simple tools, and you have the power in your hands. You experience anger. I never tell people suppress your anger. You're shouting and screaming, experience it. In the middle of the sentence, whenever you can remember, oh, I've tuned into the anger frequency.
Give it
In
away.
in that moment, your process can start. What happens if already you have become angry? That person has walked away. Now there's a big fight happening. It's beautiful. Again, we go back to the energy property. Energy doesn't play in time and space. It doesn't play in time and space. And so, what has happened 5 years ago, 5 minutes ago, you can still change the energy of everything because there is no time. If you created anger 5 years ago and that incident comes back to you and you're still sitting in anger, well, now is the time to give it away. So it's beautiful that we constantly bring ourselves into energy awareness, that I'm energy, I'm not this body, I am energy. Then all of these properties of energy that right now we've been putting, oh, this is good for, this science project and that science project. Now we become the science project. And now we can constantly operate from the energy space.
So you have said that sometimes we had a fight with someone. It could be someone on the road, it could be a family member. This has happened a few years ago. And we know we were mean because the other person was mean. We don't never ever are mean just like that, for sure. We always mean because somebody was mean to you or to us and it triggered that part. So we were mean, but a few years ago, like Meenal said, we are thinking, I shouldn't have behaved that way. So what Meenal has said basically is, when you think about it, change that frequency because she's so right, because it's so true. When we keep on to and latch on to and hold on to our negative energy, our negative emotions and our negative thoughts, it only brings us down. It is like a poison that spreads all over. So by changing the frequency of something that's happened a few years ago, Meenal, how does that work?
So this is how you will think about it. Okay, just because something happened 5 years ago, it doesn't mean, people say time heals. But now when you understand energy, you will actually know that time, energy doesn't play in time. All that, if something was to happen again today, you would immediately go back to that instance and say, oh, people are like that only, or that person is, look, she did that again, or look, he did that again. So time doesn't heal. It simply brings everything to your subconscious. It stores it in your energy field. It hasn't gone away anywhere. It hasn't gone away. It's sitting in your energy field. But now that you are aware that you have an energy field and you can transform it, now we can change that, transform that energy. So what will we do in this instance? You said somebody is mean and that's why you were mean. And I say, forget about it. Even if that you are that somebody who was mean in the first place, and now you are listening to this and saying, okay, I was mean in the first place. Now what do I do about that instance? The only question you need to ask, no matter who you are, no matter what situation you are in, the question you have to ask is, what am I feeling? Remember, we asked that question before doing the candle. It's that same question. When I think of that instance now, what am I feeling? What am I feeling today? I'm feeling guilty. I shouldn't have done that. Okay? What is the frequency over here? What is the emotion here? Guilt. What do you have to release into the candle? You actually have to release your guilt. And that's how you catch what all emotions I'm feeling. I did something awful. I'm not just feeling guilty, I'm also feeling shame. I'm feeling shame. I'm feeling very, upset with, I'm feeling sad that the whole friendship broke because of me. Now, these are all of the feelings. These are all the frequencies that outside event became a trigger. That event was created from your energy field. Your energy field that holds all of these. It holds guilt, it holds shame, it holds sadness. Now, in this moment, you will release that. And what will happen? Well, that person is not even there anymore. He's not even in my life. That's okay. Again, you're getting stuck to the body form. That person is also energy. And so in the energy, there is no separation. When you bring to your mind an event that has 4 people in it, but you worked on the event and you've released your energies to it, over there, the energy is doing its work. You don't have to, do I have to call them? Do I have to apologize? That's a body to body thing. You don't have to do anything except to work on your own energy. And so what will you do in this scenario? Release your guilt, release your shame, release your fear. You will find yourself feeling so much lighter. And then what will happen? The next time, the same memory comes back again of that same instance, you will actually see it's not triggering you that much anymore. You're actually pretty light, yeah, that happened. What has happened? That guilt from your energy field that was related to that instance, out, it's gone.
So you conduct these workshops,
Yes.
and you teach these and give people these tools which you're
Yes.
sharing so freely with us. Of course, thank you so much. Now, does this work? Have you had people come and tell you, someone who's doubtful, a real doubting Thomas, who would come to you and say, I don't think, and they question the veracity of what you are teaching. So do you have you had people who have come for your workshops and have gone back as believers? Does this work? Or have you had people say, Meenal, I tried it, and I've tried it on and off and on and off and on and off, and it just doesn't seem to work?
Perfect. So the fun part is, have I had those doubting Thomases in the house itself, right? I mean, I was the biggest doubting Thomas when the journey started for me. I was so analytical that I would receive these answers. The answers felt beautiful, but I was, constant doubting Thomas, because this can't be the answer to everything, right? Because we always find the finger pointed outside and not pointed inwards. And that's how we are always used to looking at things. If there is success, if there is failure, we're always looking at events outside instead of looking within with this question, what am I feeling with the failure? Oh, I'm feeling like, I'm feeling really disappointed. We don't sit down to release our disappointment frequencies. We actually sit and simmer in that frequency of failure a lot more. So over the past 7 years that this has been happening, yes, the one main doubting Thomas was me, and I have become a complete believer. But even otherwise, I have my husband is from IIT. So we're both these extremely analytical people who are thrown together. And he would keep listening to me, but never do these things. And then one time he was in a situation where, things were kind of like really just extending and all of that. And we were talking, and I said, you've tried everything. Why don't you just try this also? And he said, okay, this situation has been with me for for past 1 year. All right, then, let me listen to you. And he did that. The next day he called me and he said, what did you do? Because the next day the situation changed. And yet, do I then keep pressing upon anybody saying, look, you already saw this working for you. Why don't you be in it more? No, I don't. I let people go into their own journey of awareness versus unawareness. Whoever comes to me, they will find that when they tune into my energies, they will see the shift outside. In that 30-day program, and you talk about sharing freely, all of these tools are already on YouTube, on my channel. It's called MPFY Fun. They're already there, and they're to everybody for free. On Saturdays, I conduct webinars, which are also live streamed on that channel. That's also for free. But I do have this paid program of 30 days. All that I do over there is I come running with a stick after you saying, do this, do this. And so you're only just paying me so that I can run the danda on you every single day to say, do it for 30 days and see the shift happen.
Meenal, you said, tune into my frequency. It is full of masti and there's a lot of fun there. There's partying. It sounds very interesting. Now, if I am going to be sitting and saying, I am tuning into Meenal's frequency, how do I know that I have already tuned in? Now, with the radio, I know because I can hear that sound, I can hear a song or a commentary. But when it comes to someone's frequency, it doesn't have to be Meenal. It could be Buddha, it could be Krishna, it could be Muhammad or Jesus. How do I know I have tuned in and that's the right frequency?
Perfect. And so here is the thing again, which part of you wants to know? The doubting part, right? There it is, that have I really tuned in? And this happens all the time. People will constantly be questioning and they are expecting that a frequency will come with band baja barat. Like Meenal's frequency is here, so now my hands are vibrating at this high frequency. Yes, it happens to a few. It happens to people that sometimes when they're receiving, they will be, receiving through some body experiences as well. But look, how do you know when you've tuned into anger frequency and from anger, you suddenly shifted to joy? How do you know? You hear a bad news, you're in anger. You hear something good, something that is making life look better today, you tune into joy. Are you constantly, okay, now it's anger frequency, it's come with this? No, because it becomes, you are angry. Then when you tune into joy frequency, what does it look like? You feel a bit lighter. So similarly, when you tune into my frequency, in that minute, you will feel lighter. You will feel lighter. And yet, to some people, what happens? They're so much steeped into anger frequency or even this doubt frequency. Did I really shift? Did the shift happen? I don't know. I can't feel anything. And so what will they do? They've moved into my frequency. They've moved there and immediately they've picked up the remote and changed their channel back to doubt. So at this point in time, I say, if you are sitting in doubt, did I move in? Did I not move in? Understand that in a day, you move 100 times through frequencies. And this too has just happened. This is not an outside frequency. This is joy within you. but you are tuning into my frequency to grow that joy within you. And you will see that during the day, less things will make you perturbed. Less things will make you, you look at something, the same bad things are happening. But inside, you won't be that frustrated, disappointed, angry, sad. You won't be that anymore. But then, the more you keep wondering, did I really move in? That's a doubt frequency. You really then need to throw the doubt into the fire. That's all. Because again, I'm not introducing a brand new antibody into your energy field. I'm simply growing that little baby frequency of abundance that's sitting in your energy field is now getting charged up from something that I'm sharing with you.
Meenal, we have time for just about that. And would you like to say something to our viewers?
Sure. The only message that I have for everybody, no matter who comes to me, I always say all the answers are within. All the answers are within, no matter what's happening outside. It's our energy that's creating that. And so the easiest way to change your life, to change everything that's happening to you, you first have to come to joy within. When you are joy, that's what is the vibration that the universe will reflect back at you. And so I give you the answer how to be in joy. We just had that long talk. It's for free. I'm not charging for this. It's for everybody. And so you do this and come to joy, your life will shift. But all the answers are within. Your God lives within. That God frequency, what is it? It's just love. And so you will tune into love for yourself more and more as you tune into this frequency of abundance. So take and change your life.
Thank you, Meenal. Thank you so much. We've learned so much. They say that when the student is ready, the teacher arrives. And that's exactly what we have learned. So to all our viewers, I hope you've learned as much as I have. It has been an eye-opening session. I have learned, and I know for sure I'm going to practice what I have learned from Meenal. If you have any questions, any doubts, please send them to us, and I can always forward to Meenal. And like she said, she's on YouTube. You can always connect with her directly. Thank you for watching, and Meenal, thanks once again to all of you all. Till next time, take care.
Thank you so much. Lots and lots of love.
To you as well, Meenal.
Thank you.